Hey everyone, it's day 10 of Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's also Mother's Day. Say hi to your mother for me. Um, so today I'm going to talk a little bit about grief because my mom has been gone for 2 years, and and Mother's Day is just like kind of weird for me for that reason now. I'm also like not a mother myself. I guess I'm a dog mother, but like that's not really the same. So it's just like a little weird for me. So I just like whenever Mother's Day comes around, I just try to do my best to like honor my mom and remember her and think of her and stuff like that. I try to do things that like she would like me to do or whatever. Relaxing things because like she was always like she was all about relaxing, like you should relax and like enjoy yourself and stuff like that. So I'm just like sitting here since I can't like get out and like go out to eat or like do something fun. I'm just sitting here having a glass of wine. I actually made a steakum sandwich uh, because she used to always make those. Like make a sandwich with those or whatever. So I just like had it and it was so delicious with like the A1 sauce or whatever. Anyway, so I think the first couple of Mother's Days, with her gone were kind of hard for me. I think this year it's a little bit easier and I just like I wrote a blog the other day about how I still feel her presence in my life and like she's still like a huge part of my life and even though she's gone and she continues to inspire me. I just, I want to honor her today, and I'll tell you a little bit about her. And I talked about this in my blog the other day, but in case you missed it, my mom worked in elder services for most of her life, and she did a lot. Like that was helping the elderly and the infirm was just always in her heart from the time she was a child. When she was a child, she actually used to like run errands for her elderly neighbors and like family members and like, would visit them and stuff like that. And later on, as a teenager, she volunteered for a nursing home and like, befriended a lot of the elderly people there. And then later in life, she managed the local Meals on Wheels program for like 20 cities and towns. And she just had such a way with like the elderly and they used to call the office a lot just to talk with her. The elderly like struggle with loneliness a lot, and it was just like, they would call to talk to my mom. Like sometimes they'd be making changes to their meals or like whatever. But then they would just end up talking with her. And like my mom used to come home late all the time because she was like working long hours. And my dad was like, can you like put your phone on voicemail or just tell people to call back later when, they're less busy or something? And she said to him, sometimes they call because they're lonely. And I just like, my dad told me that story like a month ago. And I was just like, oh my God, like that story just like perfectly captures her spirit and like just her wanting to do her best to like help people and like be there for them and stuff like that. I forgot to mention she was also a caregiver for several years for my nana. My nana had Alzheimer's, and my mom like took care of her. And this was like at the same time that she was, raising us kids. She was actually like, going over every day. Well, she was working first off, and then she would like go over to my Nana's house every day, like make her a sandwich, organize her meds, make sure she like ate something, like helped clean her house and, things like that. And, and this was like at the time that like I was younger, I was still in school, my brothers were younger too, and it was just like, so she was sort of like the epitome of that sandwich generation, like taking care of kids at the same time as like an elderly parent and stuff. So I don't know. But she just like, she really emphasized to me like, and I guess even more so after she died, what's really important in life, just like, try to help people the best that you can. And even though like my mom was like never rich or famous or anything like that, but she helped thousands of people. She was there for them. She like did, errands for them. She actually was a caregiver to like several people in our family, like not just my grandmother, but like other people in our family who like had health conditions and like came home from the hospital, and needed like care, or like just needed somebody to like do housework or like run errands for them. She was like that person. So anyway, this is like getting a little long, but I love my mom so much, and I just want you to know about her. So another thing I'm doing today is I'm Cheryl Strayed, who wrote Wild, is doing a podcast today. I can't remember the name of the podcast, but the title of this one is called Motherless Mother's Day. And Cheryl lost her mother at 22 years old. Cheryl was 22 years old and her mother was in her 40s. And it was a really devastating loss. And like her mother was very similar to mine, just like a beautiful, like strong, kind woman. And when I read Wild, I really related to her grief process. And I think the thing that was like really hammered home, like when after I read that, was just like, you sort of like, grief is so weird, first off. That was one of the things conveyed in the book. But another thing is that this process sort of like makes you become your own mother in a way, because it's like you're kind of left alone to like care for yourself. And I don't know, so I just like really related to those aspects of her story and stuff. So I'm really looking forward to listening to that podcast today, and just hearing what she has to say. So I don't know, I'm just, I'm thinking of all of, the mothers out there. I'm really happy, you're celebrating with your families, and I hope you have a great day. I'm also thinking about those people who, have lost their mothers and are missing them today. So I just like, I love you so much. And, I know how it feels, and just do your best to honor your mother today, stuff like that. So anyways, this is a little long now because I'm like blah blah blah. All right, so I love you. Thanks for being here. Happy Mother's Day.